everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I know it's been forever, but I have this a really pretty brown glam, not super glam type of look. I didn't film an intro or outro, but I wanted to show you guys the look before we just jump straight into it. So I'm just blending in the concealer that I put all over my eyelids. I used my Tarte Shape Tape to create a base for the eyeshadow, and then I'm just setting all of that with my Makeup Revolution banana powder. So now I'm going over top of that powder and I'm putting just like a concealer color eyeshadow. I use the Morphe 35V palette, so I'm just using that so that the eyeshadow kind of all blends together, and then I'm going to go on top of that and start packing my transition color on. So I'm about to go in now with the darker brown that I want to put all over my lid, and I'm just doing that with an e.l.f. flat brush. I tried to use that Real Techniques kind of dense brush and it just didn't work out for me. So I'm going to pack this on, get it to the intensity that I want, and then I'm going to go in with a lighter brown than this but darker than the transition color, just to get it all right here, just to get it all kind of, you know, together and to intensify the look. So now I'm putting Nivea cream all over my face. I feel like before I do my makeup, when I moisturize with Nivea cream, the makeup sticks better. And then I'm going to put baby skin on top of all of that to help combat some of my texture. So right now I'm just using my Fenty foundation in the color 310 and in 300 just to give me my perfect, like, you know, kind of winter color. And then I'm using this, I don't want to call them dome brushes, but that's just what I'm going to call it, to keep the coverage in my foundation. I find when I use a sponge, it eats up some of the product and then I don't get as much coverage. So to cover up some of my scars, I'm going to use the brush, and then I put more foundation over top of my scars to kind of fill in those lines and make my skin look more smooth. So now I'm going in with my sponge just to make sure everything melts into my skin. I don't like to go so hard with the sponge because it does soak up some of the product, and I do need to keep my coverage. Y'all seen that I went over top of right where I was scarring and put foundation just right there so that I'm not looking super cakey, because in the middle of my face I have really great skin that is really smooth, so I don't want to cake on too much product because I also have to go on top and put powder and concealer and stuff like that. So I don't want to be too heavy with the foundation, but I do want a smooth, like, one-tone base. So now I'm just using my Fenty foundation in the same color 310 to kind of conceal and highlight just a little bit. I do go back over top and brighten this, but I really love this concealer because it's thick and full coverage, but it's not heavy on my face, so I get everything that I want and still get to be comfortable. It also doesn't get super oily because my skin is so dry, it overproduces oil, and this doesn't dry me out or get me super oily. So I'm cream contouring with Truffle by Fenty. I don't really like this shade per se on me because it's cool, but you're supposed to contour with cool, which is why I use it. I do go back on top and put a warmer cream on top so that I don't have to bronze with so much powder, and then create more cakiness and texture in my contour area. So now I'm going in with that Milani concealer to brighten. I kind of went a little OD with the concealer, so it took me a little while to blend out because I want to minimize as much flashback as possible. And if your concealer is too light or not blended properly, that contributes to flashback. So in order to avoid that, it takes me a really long time to blend, but because I have that thick concealer on top that is close to skin tone, close to my skin tone, it helps the base just blend better, helps the concealer blend better. I'm just going in now with Truffle on like a flat, fluffy type of brush, and I go from the tip of my nose up to like my brow bone type of area, like the front of my brow, because the front of my nose is the part that I want the slimmest, and I don't want my nose to look too slim in the middle. So I start at the front and then I push it up, and then I kind of drag the concealer down my nose a little bit so that it can blend into the highlight, just so that it doesn't look like highlight nose contour, so that's all I'm doing right here. So now I'm just setting all of that concealer with the banana powder from Fenty. I really like this powder. It's a little light for me, like for my preference, but I also don't like a super yellow under eye because I'm so yellow already. It just mutes my face and looks weird. So I do like this powder. It does feel drying, but once I spray, it looks amazing and flawless in pictures. So I do really like this powder. So I set the rest of my face with Sephora Micro Smooth powder, and I put that on my contour. I put it all over the rest of my face, and I even use it to dust off the powder under my eyes because the powder is really fine, and I feel like it eliminates some of those lines and the texture that I have going on. So that is my whole goal when I apply my makeup, is finding the best way to do so without enhancing my texture. So now I'm going in with my bronzer. It's the MAC in Aaliyah bronzer. It's too light for me. I try to use it because I did pay for it, so why not use it? But honestly, it's just too light. So I always have to go on top and put something else with it to warm my face up more because it really just sets the contour. But I do like it because it's lightweight. So now I'm taking that same brush that I used to put my face powder on, and I'm just wiping away all of that banana powder. I do go in at some point, it might be off camera, but put the Micro Smooth under my eyes. I do like my matte compact powder or my Sephora Micro Smooth, because it just helps get rid of my lines and texture under my eyes. So I'm setting with my Morphe Continuous Setting Spray, and then I put some Fix Plus on top of that, and I feel like my makeup just like melts in way better and comes together. So I pat it all in with my sponge just so that it blends all together, and then that is pretty much it for the spray. So honestly, my lip combo wasn't super popping this day. I used Naked by Morphe, I think that's the name of this lipstick, and I put it all over. It's a peachy nude, and I really wanted more of a lighter nude, so I put on top the Wet n Wild nude, and it just looked terrible. I didn't like the texture, I didn't like anything about it, so I just let it rock though. I'm using a waterproof brown NYX liner now, and I'm just blending it into the corners of my mouth, and then I'm putting in just a little bit more of that brown to make sure I didn't lose anything while I was putting on all of that powder. And yeah, I'm gonna pop my lashes on. I'm not the best person to take lash advice from, so I left it in here just so y'all can see the transformation happen, but honestly, I'm not the best at it. So now I'm just going on top of my Aaliyah bronzer, and I'm putting some of that Vlogger on my forehead. And I like to kind of put it all over my face just to warm me up. And then off camera, I put on some blush. And now I'm using Trophy Wife by Fenty. I do like to press my forehead highlight in with this sponge, because sometimes it can be a little bit too much in pictures, and I'm just going to spray a little bit with the Morphe spray, and that is pretty much it for the look. I didn't film like a formal outro, but I did put some slow-mos in there. I hope you guys really like this look. I promise the next video will be way better. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.